these type of players a little bit farther down, especially if it's receiver. Go down 10 or 12, and you should still get your receiver. So, will they make a trade? That's why we call on the wisdom of Solomon. Solomon Wilcots.
Thanks, Chris. And talking to those in the New England Patriots war room, we now understand that they have traded for this pick with the Seattle Seahawks. Look for the Patriots to take the center, the dominator, Damien Woody from Boston College. Should be a tremendous pick for them. They look to upgrade their offensive line. Chris?
Well, that'd be interesting if they made the move. And let's here is the commissioner with the official trade. So let's go up to the podium. Thanks, Solomon.
Well, there's been a trade, and the New England Patriots are now on the clock.
Well, let's say a little bit why Seattle might have made a trade. They, along with Miami and Kansas City, have the fewest draft picks of anybody in this draft. 5. They have no second. Part of the reason they Seattle lost the pick to Green Bay is compensation for Mike Holmgren. So I'm sure a second will be involved. We'll get the details on that trade for a moment. Now, New England has 2 first-round picks. Now, they're not moving up a few spots. Solomon said Woody, the center, who I think still would have been there, and they waited a little longer. But one of these picks with Robert Edwards with the unfortunate serious injury suffered out of Honolulu, one of these picks should be a running back, although I don't think this one, Mel.
No, Damien Woody, it would surprise me. I think you have to replace Dave Wohlabaugh. There's no question about that, but I do not think the teams in between would have gone for a center like Damien Woody. I think you have to move up. You have to think about maybe a Conrad, a running back at that point if you're going to go up that far. But I look at New England right now to move up just a couple spots. They have the guy in mind that's going to be a major impact performer on that football team.
Well, we'll see, exactly what New England has in mind, so I guess we'll shelve Seattle discussion. They'll be there in 3.
Just a little bit with New England. You got Cedric Shaw, who was a 3rd-round pick in '97, who is available, and maybe he can develop for him. I think that's the thing they have to consider.
Well, they got 2 picks, this pick and then the 28th pick. Let's see what they've done with the trade. Yep. See, I do a segue, and it doesn't work. Well, you do one, and it works.
I said it's time. You've taught me timing, Boom.
Well, timing is everything, Joe. That's correct, and I should learn.
On the trade between Seattle and New England, Seattle traded its first pick, the 17th pick in this draft, to New England for the Patriots' first pick in this draft, Patriots' 3rd and 6th round picks in this draft. With the 17th pick, the New England Patriots have selected Damien Woody, center, Boston College.
Well, the first good thing about this pick for New England is they don't have to pay moving expenses. I mean, Boston College goes right to Foxborough. So, Mel, in short, the Patriots have a Woody.
They have a heck of a player. The dominator, they call him, Chris. He can play center guard. Obviously, center in New England with Dave Wohlabaugh moving on. You see the explosion in the athleticism. Keeps his feet, maintains his balance, strong at the point. And I think when you look at Damien Woody, you're seeing a kid who did it over a period of years. Of course, came out after his junior year, but he's got plenty of starting experience in the Big East Conference. And at 328 pounds, has the size and the physical strength to hold up against those dominating defensive tackles in the National Football League. My question I have here, Joe, is to move up from 20 to 17 and give up a 3 and a 6 when it did not look like Damien Woody would have gone to one of those teams in between is kind of baffling at this point.
You and I sit here constantly, quite often, and it usually doesn't take us to the 17th pick in the draft where we just scratch our head and go, why did he do this? I mean, so many picks to move up to get a guy who could probably be there 6 or 7 spaces down. I got to be honest with you, this one baffles me a little bit. I know he's a good center. I know that the offensive line of the New England Patriots needs some help, but certainly you got to figure, they have to figure out they're going to get a running back somewhere, someplace else, or Cedric Shaw has been working real hard to impress upon them what they need. There's the offensive line. Bruce Armstrong.
Well, see,
Denson.
they lost Wohlabaugh at center, Joe. I mean, and Woody's a good player now.
No, I agree. But to give up 3 picks to move up that far to get it.
Joe, they had to have a strong feeling that somebody, Oakland or the Giants, were going to take Damien Woody. I disagree with that. And 3 and a 6 to me are potential hole fillers for a team. I think they'd still be able to get the same player just a couple spots later. You have to wonder why you would want to part with 3 and 6. Obviously, they had somebody in mind, either Oakland or the Giants, that were going to be interested in Damien Woody.
I think keep in mind also, there's been a lot of talk and a lot of banter about Terry Glenn possibly being on the trading block. They still have some picks. They still have a number 1 left. So, I mean, you don't know.
Let me solve that one. You saw in a moment the war room cam at Foxborough. That was the owner, Robert Kraft. There were words that in their efforts to get up to get the running back, that Terry Glenn was part of the trade. It did not happen. That was out there. They never dangled him in these particular trades. So let's settle that one.
So this one, This one never involved Terry Glenn.
No, it did not. So Woody's a good player now, and it's certainly a position of need. And they lost Wollabaugh to Cleveland. They'll be back for probably running back later on. We'll be back in a moment.
Stay with Cox 9 all season to follow your Phoenix Suns. Watch Jason Kidd lead the rest of Danny Ainge's team toward the playoffs. Tune in this Wednesday as the defending Western Conference champion Utah Jazz come to Phoenix. Karl Malone, John Stockton, Jason Kidd, and Tom Gugliotta. Suns Live tips off at 6:30. The Suns and Jazz square off at 7. The Phoenix Suns host the Utah Jazz Wednesday night, exclusively on Cox 9.
Sizzling non-stop action. It's Cox pay-per-view. Dishonored cop Nicolas Cage rolls Snake Eyes. Robert De Niro tracks a mysterious briefcase in Ronin. When Kurt Russell is the soldier, it's kill or be killed. Urban legend is that a group of college students will die. Get in on all the thrills without ever leaving your home. It's fast, it's easy, it's Cox pay-per-view.
We have Russians, Germans, Swedes, you name it, we got it. And we're all one big happy family.
Привет, Шенни, иди покатайся в облаках.
That means Shanahan is a good and great man. I love you too, my brother.
Ken Griffey Jr. 9 straight gold gloves, 1 dazzling bat. Watch one of the best swings in the game spark a long ball battle in Anaheim. Mariners Angels, the Sunday night game of the week. Tomorrow at 8 on ESPN.
Dear Great Aunt Edith, camp is fun, but dear Uncle Lenny, camp is fun, but I need money for arts and crafts. I miss you. Love, Billy. P.S. I made this candle for you.
No, more pathetic. Come on, pathetic. Nice.
With new Polaroid greeting cards, you can show your relatives how much you really love them.
Okay, that's all of Billy's relatives. Who's next?
Got a TV here?
Yeah, just put over by the hot tub.
Polaroid. See what develops.
Smells like money.
And welcome back to our NFL Draft Update. If you're just joining us, quarterbacks, the story of the day. No surprise there. 5 quarterbacks taken in the first 12 picks. The Saints trade with the Redskins, select Ricky Williams, who slides to number 5 overall. It's been a very good day for quarterbacks, a very bad day for the big uglies. 5 quarterbacks taken in this draft before the first lineman taken at number 14. 4 linemen in a row have now been selected. Kirk Herbstreit and Mike Gottfried join me. Your thoughts on the quarterback class of '99? You ask 10 different guys, you get 10 different opinions in the NFL.
Chris, the 2 I like the best. I like Dante Culpepper the best. He's 6'4", 255, runs a 4.6 40. He's the most accurate quarterback passer in college football this year. He broke Steve Young's 15-year accuracy record, completing 73.6. Tim Couch, he broke all the records. In high school, he broke all the records, 14 records in the SEC, so it just figures that he's going to do well in the pro football.
I think one of the things to remember about these guys, all 5 are good character guys, so it's a good, safe pick for anybody that went out on a limb and decided to pick them. With us all analyzing and overanalyzing these quarterbacks, remember, it's not the measurables that make the quarterback, but the intangibles. Case in point would be Cade McNown out of UCLA. The knock on him, of course, the arm strength, the lack of height to be a prototypical NFL quarterback. They're off balance, demonstrating the arm strength. I think the system that UCLA has out there with Bob Toledo allows him to come into the NFL and probably have a shorter learning curve than some of the other quarterbacks. Donovan McNabb is a scrambler. Everybody's talking about how can he sit in the pocket. Don't forget that at Syracuse, he had opportunities to sit back there and demonstrate the big arm. And Achilles Smith is a great leader. The players out at Oregon love him. It's going to be interesting. And the black hole of quarterbacks down since Boomer Esiason in Cincinnati, what kind of leadership will he provide for a team that is desperately needing some leadership?
You're right. That's a very tough situation for any young quarterback to have to step into. Achilles Smith's father, Ray, is a minister. May want to say a prayer for his son heading to the Bengals. Here's the top quarterbacks, guys coming into their own. Ron Jaworski says Achilles Smith is number 1. Jim Kelly, he likes Donovan McNabb. He's in the same camp as Marty Schottenheimer. Mike Gottfried just heard talk about Culpepper. Joe Theismann, of course, he has to be a contrarian. He goes with the short guy, the lefty Cade McNown from UCLA. Different quarterbacks, lots of different opinions. That's what makes draft day. Draft day. Mike Tirico.
And Chris Fowler to add to the opinions. We are joined again by Jim Kelly, class of '83, and Boomer Esiason, class of '84.